It's the perfect time here in Patriots Nation, ladies and gentlemen. And they held their second practice, week 2 of OTAs that were open to the media. And of course, yes, the newly acquired wide receiver A.J. Brown made his first appearance as a Patriot. Welcome into Patriots Today by Chat Sports, presented by Prize Picks. I am your host, Brett Alper. And before we break it all down, I just want to tell you guys, we're talking about OTAs. We're talking about everything that you could possibly think of. And you saw yesterday, great day for the A.J. Brown trade. And I will say, we are one sub ahead of the Ravens rundown. Let's build that lead a little bit. Let's build that lead a bit. So if you love the Patriots, want your content 7 days a week, 365, go ahead and hit that sub button right now. Let's just start off with the news that everybody is waiting for and wanted to know. And A.J. Brown is officially here. He has passed his physical. And yes, he did practice today. And see him in the Patriots gear. Oh, man, it's I still can't believe it's real. And this second picture of him just wearing that number 1, I didn't even realize just how jacked A.J. Brown truly was. And you could see it on the field. You could see it through the workouts, through the practice reps, which he did make a couple. And it was exciting to see. During 11-on-11s, he only had about 4 reps during the whole entire practice, but you could see he had 1 rep and caught a pass from Maye on a comeback route. And that comeback route, which we got a picture of because, of course, the Patriots had all eyes on A.J. Brown today. All the cameras. It was a one-handed catch. And, we're going to be seeing a ton of that very, very, very soon. And it seems like that everybody has all smiles in the building. It seems they talked to Will Campbell today. They talked to Travion Henderson. Of course, Maye spoke about it. And everybody is super excited to have him on the Patriots. But I don't know if anybody's happier to be a Patriot than A.J. Brown. Here's his quote from his press conference earlier today. He said, "I caught myself at one point in practice not paying attention because I was thinking, damn, I'm a Patriot. I know this isn't heaven, but it's close to it. Just to be in that arena in Gillette Stadium, it's going to mean everything to me. Obviously, I've played there before, but just to wear the uniform and put that on, it's going to be so special. It's going to be so special." It's just electric that we finally got our wide receiver 1. I'm super glad that he is a Patriot. I'm glad that this didn't drag out. And he was at the facility at 6 o'clock in the morning. He got his physical done, and he wanted to get on the field. That just shows his dedication and shows that he is ready to be a part of this team and ready to bring it and hopefully bring a Lombardi trophy back to one Patriot place. Let's show some love to A.J. Brown. He's not wearing number 11. He spoke about that because he said he wanted to pay his respects for Julian Edelman, and he wanted to create his own legacy of his own. So go ahead down in the comment section, spam your ones below. I want to see that comment section flooded with the number 1. Let's get into the second takeaway from OTAs, and it's the same exact thing as last week. It's the absences, and not much has changed from last week. The guys that are veterans, such as Harold Landry, such as Carlton Davis, were not there. Marcus Jones didn't make practice today, which I thought was pretty interesting, but I'm not really worried about that. But all eyes are on Kayshon Boutte, who's expected to be traded, but Christian Gonzalez is the guy that we're going to talk about. And Mike Vrabel went to the podium before practice, and he said it. It's about contracts. And this is the full quote. "The contract is the business and the professional side of this. The personal side, I don't want to let anything interfere with that. I want Christian to be ready when he comes back. I would imagine that he would be here for next week for mandatory minicamp. If he is, then we'll coach him and be ready to move on and get him ready. Get him ready to help us and help himself. Contracts are a part of professional sports. I understand that, but I also know that those should remain private like any contract. You want to make sure in negotiations that everybody feels like they get something out of it, and we'll leave it at that." And I'll make this quick. Just basically, just make it your next priority. You got your wide receiver. You got the number 1 guy. Now, just get your number 1 cornerback paid, please. Just get the contract done. That's all I am asking. We'll get to more of those takeaways in just a second, guys. But first, I got to tell you about our sponsor of today's show, and that is Prize Picks. You know I can't get enough of this app, baby. It's the best place to win cash while watching sports. Playoff basketball is in its final series. Go New York, go New York. I know you guys aren't going to like that, but who cares? Big golf tournaments, baseball's underway, and you know I love motorsports every Sunday. Love making daily fantasy lineups. You guys can even follow me on the app to see all my lineups at The Real Alper. Get the picks before they even get posted on the show. Also follow your friends or explore your favorite celebrity lineups. And we're going with the more on a lot of them today, guys. We got Jalen Brunson's more at 5.5 free throw attempts. Look, he's going to get to the line. I know he is. Karl Anthony Towns, we're going with the more on his three-point attempts at 4. I think he's going to shoot a lot. I truly do. And then Stephon Castle, we're going as more in points. I mean, he's been going off the whole entire playoffs. I think he's going to go off once again. Make a lineup just like that. The app is super easy to use. Just pick more or less on a few player stats and lock in your lineup. There's a new user offer. Download the PrizePicks app today and use code HMA to get $50 in lineups when you play your first $5 lineup. Link is in the comments and description of today's video. That's code HMA to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. PrizePicks. It's good to be right. Third takeaway of the day is that Drake Maye bounced back after, I guess you could call it a little bit rough in practice. A little bit. He did throw an interception, but coming back into today, he played a lot better. Some people had Drake Maye of the stats going 17 for 23. Some people had 17 for 22, but I've seen multiple. It's all different with all the beat reporters that are out there. Tommy DeVito, also a solid day at 9 for 14. Didn't see any stats from Baron Morton, but these are your two quarterbacks. Drake Maye's number 1. Tommy DeVito is number 2. But I will mention this. This comes from Doug Kide. Drake Maye had 14 straight completions to his wide receivers and tight ends. Very, very good practice from him. And it seems like he's starting to get a little bit more comfortable in that second practice. Another guy that was there is Taylor Kyle. Shout out to him. He said it was an okay day for Drake Maye. Exploited downfield busts on completions to Hunter Henry and Pop Douglas. A nice touch throw to Hunter Henry and a smart double clutch short to Jack Westover, as now he's taken over that spot for Julian Hill. But he also missed a high to the flat, had a couple incompletions where it was tough to tell who he was going to. And for all the people that kind of went crazy, and I don't think there was much, but it's OTAs, just getting into rhythm. Drake Maye is going to be just fine. I expect him to be one of the top quarterbacks in football with a top wide receiver in the NFL like A.J. Brown. So I'm excited to see everything that goes on the rest of the way. And mandatory minicamp has now been moved up. It is next week on June 9th. Next takeaway, I figured if we talked about A.J. Brown, we got to talk about the other wide receivers, right? Because some of them made really nice plays in practice. And another straight practice, 2 straight now in the open media portions, that Pop Douglas has been one of the leading guys. This comes from Mark Daniels. He said he had a nice day today, caught a deep pass, and then shook Brandon Crossley out of his shoes. Now, for some other guys on the team, Phil Perry was also at practice, part of NBC Sports Boston. He said it was a backside to dig route to Kyle Williams that hit the wideout in stride from Drake Maye and a crosser through traffic on Hunter Henry's face. I mean, come on, Phil. You know what you got to be doing there. But going back to Pop Douglas, he's still leading the way at OTAs. And I've talked about this many, many times before, which I think some people are starting to pick up on it, that it is a roster battle between him and Efton Chisholm III on who is going to be the Patriots slot wide receiver. I expect them to keep 6 on the roster. Kyle Dixon hasn't been in practice, so it's starting to look like he's not going to make the team, and my prediction is going to be an absolute But you look at the full stats from OTAs today. Pop Douglas, 4 for 6, had the most targets, but Efton Chisholm right behind him went 4 for 4. Matt Collins went 2 for 3. Romeo Doubs, still a little bit quiet. I still think he's getting acclimated to this system. And then A.J. Brown, of course, going 1 for 1 in only 4 reps and 11 on 11s. But now when you look at the wide receiver depth chart, it's just a beautiful sight to see, man. A.J. Brown is your number 1. Romeo Doubs is your number 2. Excited to see that battle at slot between Chisholm and Pop Douglas. But then Kyle Williams, Matt Collins, and we'll see what we do with Kayshon Boutte. The last takeaway that I have is the offensive line. And it was not really something that happened at practice, but something that happened after practice. And Will Campbell spoke to the media today, and the first thing that he was asked was about his knee injury. And this is something that kind of stuck with me going in while I was making the script for this video. And Will Campbell said that he had to do physical therapy 5 days a week the entire offseason since the Super Bowl ended to get his strength fully back in his knee. But then he was later asked, how does he feel about it? He said, yeah, I feel good. So what does that tell me? Well, he was hurt. And my question is, why the hell would you play him in the Super Bowl if he was that hurt? If he had to go through physical therapy 5 days a week, that tells me that he was way more hurt than we kind of anticipated. And that's the reason why he played so bad in the postseason. But it's an excuse, but I'm not going to let it be an excuse. But I hope he is fully healthy, and we expect to see him what he played like going the first 13 games of the NFL season compared to the last 4 in the postseason. Another thing from the offensive line, and this is a little bit concerning, is that Morgan Moses left practice early today with quote-unquote injury. We didn't know what the injury was, but he went back to the athletic training shed for a bit. I can't speak English. I don't know why. When walked back to the faculty with a member of the training staff. In his place, Marcus Bryant rotated with Caleb Lomu at right tackle. And if Morgan Moses is going to get hurt this early in the season, just at OTAs, when you're barely having any contact, you're not in pads, you're not hitting hard like you usually do, oh, that's not a good sign. But it tells me Caleb Lomu is going to play a lot in 2026. If Morgan Moses is already kind of getting a little bit banged up early in the season, you're going to see a lot of rotations in and out between Lomu and Morgan Moses. So, in my opinion, get as many reps as you possibly can. And I think the Patriots know that. They are plugging and playing him right in at that right tackle spot. And we were kind of leaning on, he was going to be kind of a swing tackle. Maybe he'd sit back for a little bit. But it's looking like maybe down the line in later this season, he's going to be the starting right tackle. I'll ask you guys, it's time to predict it. Will Caleb Lomu play right tackle in 2026? You let me know down in the comments section. Give me a Y for yes or give me an N for no down in the comments. And also go ahead and hit that sub button. We are only one sub ahead of the Ravens rundown, and I want to beat that down, and I want to shove it in Joey Peterson's face. So if you love the Pats, we're breaking these down, breaking all the OTAs down. Hit that sub button right now. And as always, let's go Pats.